to another show from the Daily Mindset and Business Dojo show. My name is John, your mindset business coach. In today's show, we are going to explore the topic of how to motivate your team using a coaching mindset. So this one is for the business owners out there who have created all the systems, who have given all of the blueprints, who have passed on all of their information, their knowledge, their expertise to their employees, but yet they somehow don't follow through the way you'd like them to, or they don't quite engage in the culture the way you'd like them to. Now, we always get frustrated, right? It's like, you hand them the manual and yet something still goes astray. Why is that? Well, for most people, it's a mindset issue. It's a subconscious pattern that they have that they're not operating from a higher self, they're operating from a lower self. And it's not due to a lack of motivation. It's just often patterns that they're running that they're not even aware of. And we need to help them break those patterns. And adding new systems onto their plate isn't going to do that. It's probably going to add more overwhelm. It's probably going to add more disengagement than they already have in the first place. So what we need to do is we need to adopt a coaching mindset. So you as a business owner or as a manager can adopt the mindset of a coach and not just manage your team, because let's be honest, when you look at a manager, what are they responsible for? They're responsible for lots of things. Number one, they have to manage, they have to lead, they have to inspire, they have to motivate, they have to coach, they have to mentor. They play all of these roles. And it's not about limiting yourself to one. It's good to have different expertise and skill sets that you can use at different times. So let's look at it from a coaching perspective. Now, how can you adopt the mindset of a coach? What a good coach does is simply ask higher quality questions that helps the person elicit certain answers. All right. So what I mean is, rather than you giving them the answer, which is more mentoring, which is more leading them in a certain direction, you're trying to get them to see it from a different perspective. Because in terms of our mindset, in terms of our thoughts, the problem with our mind is we delete, we distort, and we generalize things. We chunk them down. Meaning we're not using our full capabilities as a person who can actually think, because we're stuck in our head, because we have certain biases, we have certain limiting perspectives, we have certain mindsets, we have certain limiting beliefs, we have disempowering beliefs, we have a certain emotional profile that doesn't set us up for success. All of this is happening internally, which is decoding the meaning of what you're trying to give it to the person, and it's not getting the result that you want. So what you need to do is you need to help them see it from a different perspective. And the best way to do that is to get them to engage by asking them certain questions. And let's look at it from a situation where they make a mistake, right? Something goes wrong in a job, something, they don't follow a system. Rather than you just telling them what they did wrong, ask them questions. Ask them what went well today. What could have been better? What do you think you could have done different in this situation? I'm curious, what led to you making that decision? I'm curious to why you missed that step. Ask them questions. Get them to come to the conclusion, not you. Because we fight for our own limits and we need to help them break that. We need to help them see that I did this today and this is a pattern I run. And this is the reasons why it happened, because I wasn't mentally focused. Why weren't you mentally focused? Because there's all of this noise going on in their mind. That is why we have to help them break their own patterns to be able to help them recreate patterns that actually align with the company and the vision that you have. So the asking empowering questions is so important. And it can just really flip the script on how you lead them, because your brain doesn't believe what someone else tells it. It believes what you tell it. So you getting them to come to the conclusion is going to make it much more likely for them to make a change. If you tell someone to work out who doesn't work out, the chances of them doing it isn't, their brain is not going to be stimulated by that. They're not going to be motivated or inspired. But if they can get themselves to see why it's important that they exercise and say it to themselves, then the chances of them executing is going to be much higher. So this is just looking at leadership from a different perspective. And it's an extra skill set and a tool set that every business owner can have, every manager can have, that you can use with your team. And in fact, we integrate this into, and we're going to be adding it into the Dojo program that we're launching next week, is where we're going to be educating, teaching, and coaching business owners on how to integrate these skill sets more into their business, whether that's for themselves, who is leading the team, or with their management team. Because it's so important, and especially when it comes to delivering information, how we communicate, how we set clear intentions for them, how we get them to engage, interact. So we make sure that they know exactly what they need to do. They pretty much know why they're doing it, why it's important, and then they can almost give themselves the feedback at the end of it to say, this is where it went wrong, this is what happened, and this is what I should do next time. Don't tell them what they should do next time. Ask them, what do you think you should have done better? What do you think would be a better solution in that situation? And you can keep probing. What's another solution? What's a better way to get that outcome? Walk me through the process. What do you think is another way? What would have been more efficient and more effective? What would have been more aligned with our practices? Questions. Ask them questions, probe deeper and deeper and deeper, and get them to flip their perspective on how they see the situation. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to share this out if you're on Facebook, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And as always, you're welcome to join our free Facebook community. I'll drop the link in the comments after this show, or you can find it in my bio, the daily mindset and business community for business owners. All right. So until next time, ascend higher.